Hi, everybody. Normally, we'd be doing this live at 6 o'clock, but it's the Indians opener, and I'm going to be watching. You're going to be watching. So I'm giving you an early present. This is the Moohead Radio Monday podcast, live from the rainy mountains of South Carolina. We have major storm running through here, and it's going to get worse from what I understand, major thunderstorms. So it ought to be fun. Hopefully I don't burn up here and get struck by lightning in the middle of the show. Although it might be entertaining, more entertaining than the podcast usually is. Working on our new fast connection here, where we're finally up to date in the 21st century with our internet connectability here in the mountains, so all is good. My health, much better. Thank you for asking. The muscle spasms have backed off. I actually golfed 9 holes yesterday, looking to get back on the tennis court. So back to the regular grind of working out, of sports, and also of Moohead Radio. A couple things I wanted to talk about today. I mean, I am obviously going to talk a little bit. And it's not going to be a huge, long podcast. But I want to talk about a prediction for the Cleveland Indians season before they hit their first game in Texas. Want to talk about the Cavs locker room situation, which is all the rage being written about today. And I also wanted to address first and foremost the greatest embarrassment to the game of golf. If you don't follow the LPGA, you're hearing about it today. How a person can end up with an assessment of a 4-stroke penalty. I'll try to explain to you the circumstances surrounding that, but it defies all possible explanation. Lexi Thompson was on her way to winning the ANA Inspiration Ladies PGA Tour event. She was up 3 strokes and walking to the 13th hole, and she was playing really good golf. In second place was So Yeon Ryu, who is the Korean gal who's number 2 in the world. And so this was a big tournament for Lexi Thompson to win. She walks up to the 13th hole and is basically to the tee and is told by an official that they're assessing a 4-stroke penalty because yesterday a television viewer spotted a rules violation. I know. Reading this, it made me sick to my stomach. You can imagine what it did to Lexi Anderson. I mean, or Lexi Thompson. I'm sorry. You can imagine. She was leading by 2 shots at 16 under as she headed to the 13th tee, and then she got the bad news. Her response was, "Is this some kind of a joke?" What it amounts to is she was replacing her ball on the Saturday 3rd round. And they use a coin, and you've watched golf on television, you know, they place their ball right up against the coin. A television viewer, nameless television viewer, said, "I noticed that it was an inch off of where it should have been placed from the coin." Now, I've heard of anal motherfuckers before, but this just takes the cake. You have some totally anal retentive prick watching on television and decides to phone in and say, "I got it on video." And you know how much I rail against fans imposing themselves in the games. I mean, the games are for the athletes to perform and to entertain the fans. The fans blur this far too often, and it's the interactive nature of our society. It is the whole notion of social media, of getting fast reactions to things. We believe that we can impact the way that the game is played or the outcome of the game. And it's come down to NBA games where people were shining lasers into the face of people shooting free throws, of people running out onto football fields or onto soccer pitches to be able to try to interfere and disrupt the game. One guy I remember basically parachuting into a boxing ring during Evander Holyfield's fight. I mean, I have seen virtually everything in my life that has turned me sour about the sickness of people watching sports on television or watching in live venues around the country. Hey, there's my man. Come on over here. Look, let me introduce you here. I'm doing a podcast right now. There's the camera. There's Luke. Luke is working on my air conditioning system. Barton Brothers out of Gowensville, South Carolina. Big time plug for Barton Brothers. So, yeah. And I'm getting a phone call at the same time. So, you know something? I'm going to obviously have to stop this whole thing. Hold on a sec.